Yo, this your boy DJ Ric from DJ Ric Entertainment, man, and we're back here on Step Your Game Up. I got my host here.
Dolores from Stone Street Entertainment.
Wow. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has. You've been working.
It's been a minute.
He's been working, y'all.
Yeah, man, I've been on the grind again, man. It's like it's never stopping, man. We got a lot. I right now, what's going on? Got a lot of sound events going on, DJ events. So right now, I mean, when you're in demand, you're in demand. You gotta do what you gotta do. It ain't personal; it's business. So that's where we at on that note. So let's hop right into it.
Well, first, I want to talk about my jumpsuit. My jumpsuit was designed, I'm going to stand up so you can see the artwork, but it was designed by an artist who's from the DMV. Shout out to Karen Law. If you follow her on Instagram, it's Pretty Odd Artist. And I wanted to give you just a sample of a piece of art that she did for a live painting at our Cocktails and Keys event. And I just really think that we should support one another, whether it's art, music, community, family, and we're big about that, right?
Yeah, especially on Black owned, man. One of the biggest things that I see, you all talk about you want to support blacks, but the problem I see, y'all run right back to Macy's. Y'all run right back to somewhere else, Sears. Y'all run back to JCPenney, wherever it is. That's where y'all run at. But and you talk about our prices are too high. You know what? What's that place? The lingerie place?
Oh, Victoria's Secret?
Man, that joint high as heck.
And make a lot of money.
And y'all run right there. So I mean, hey, support your black owned.
Especially with music, because I always have this conversation all the time that the blues is a good example. Back when we were kids, when you thought of the blues, you thought of African Americans and our struggle. Yep. And now the blues is slowly fading away to another culture. Yeah. And I feel like the only way we can continue honoring the blues is to support the blues, support live music. As Mickey Hill said last week, if you don't support it, we lose it.
We lose it.
You can't claim what you're not supporting.
Yeah. It's just like same thing with go-go. Go-go is at a good place. It's at a steady pace. And like my man Heartbeat said, just keep it slow, and keep building it. My thing is right now, us as blacks, we have to support one another. We big on that. That's where we at.
Well, I want to give a shout out to you because you showed up today. Shout out because he showed up today. He didn't leave the newbie hanging by herself.
Hey, you know what? When she told me she wanted to be a co-host, and she put up co-host, and I told her take the co-host off and put host. So it's a host and a host. That's the way it's supposed to be. It shouldn't be a co-host. If you're going to do a co-host, well, if I'm going to do a co-host, host, co-host, and co-host. That's what we do. Okay,
host. Pinky. We're host.
That's how we doing it, man. That's how we doing it. Now, let's get into some serious business. As you know, it's been a lot of killings with kids. I mean, it's been a lot, especially in D.C.
Yes.
I mean, back to back. I'm not understanding it. Parents, you have to stop being friends first with your kids and being a parent first, then a friend. Y'all got the role all twisted up. I go into the grocery stores, man, kids are cursing with their parents like no other, like it's another language. And, it's all right. No, heck no, it ain't all right. They steady cussing. You got elderly people walking around and looking, and I'm like, boy, if that's my kid's 27 and 37. And they rarely cuss around me. It may be a once in a blue moon that they do it, but they of age. But when I see 10, 11, 12, 13. Even I done seen 2 and 3-year-old cussing. You know, and it's a problem, man. It's a problem, man. Y'all, us as blacks, we need to get it together. We need to get it together, man. You know, kids got iPhone. I don't even own an iPhone. I can afford one, but I don't even have an iPhone. Kids got iPhones. I DJ'd in the school system. Kids got more money in their pocket than I got in mine. Kids got $60, $70, $80 in their pocket, $100 in their pocket at a school dance. Elementary. Yeah. Elementary. I'm not understanding. I'm just not understanding. I know we want the best for our kids, but that ain't the way to do it. I'm sorry. You can't give your kid everything. You know, let them work for it. Let them earn it. You know, go back to the roots. Let them earn it. Let them work for it. That's how we was raised. And no, that's not old school. That's respect and doing it the right way and teaching them. Because guess what's going to happen? When they get out here, they going to get ate up. This world going to eat them up. And you see what's happening there to a lot of them. A lot of them, they can't even spell their name. Yeah. Can't spell their name. So, you know, I'm gonna put it right there. I worked in the school system too, PG County school system. So all you parents that saying come running up at the school talking about your kids ain't doing this and kids ain't doing that, well, come see Mr. Johnson. I can tell you. I can tell you what your kids doing, and you wouldn't believe it. So, you know, I'm just putting it out there. Kids killing kids. They got guns at the age of 10 and 11. And they killing one another? Come on, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get it together, man. Man, y'all see what's happening. Richard Pryor said this, and don't take this person. Richard Pryor said this a long time ago. There's some new niggas in the block. You better understand what I'm saying. We built D.C. All blacks built D.C. Spanish building D.C. now. I'm going to hit on a lot of things, man. I mean, hey, you know, these young guys, half of them don't want to work. They still hanging around the neighborhood. Not doing nothing. Smoking weed all day. Can't spell their name. Man, y'all got to get it together, man. Our new thing is mute the killer. Mute the killer, man. That's our new thing, mute the killer. You know, this, excuse my language, this shit is real. It's real. So if you think it's a joke, man, I'm going to tell you. Man, that's where I'm at with this.
Well, we have to get back to the level of self-respect.
Yeah.
And then respect. We have to respect ourselves. In order to do that, you have to learn how to respect others.
Yeah.
And the sad part, I mean, I think back to when I first came to D.C. in 77. It was more of a community. I mean, everybody had their own struggles, but they looked out for one another. I feel like now DC's turned into a very status-driven area, and it's very unfortunate because kids are often caught up in the wayside. Yep. Even in my own community, I see where a lot of parents, they're constantly working, but the kids are running around the neighborhood wreaking havoc on the neighborhood. And the parents don't want to accept that. When you have a kid, it's up to you to give them things to do, give them tools in a toolbox and how to get through life. And that's not happening anymore. It's become money-driven, you know, having the best home, the best car. Doesn't matter how great your house is if it's in a wreck.
Exactly.
So it's very unfortunate.
And I'm going to say this. Half of y'all live in neighborhoods now, you don't even know who your neighbors are. Yeah. Y'all don't even know who your neighbors are. Y'all do not know who your neighbors are. Y'all may even know one or two, but when we grew up, hell, I knew the neighborhood. I knew Burberry Heights, Suitland, West off of Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, District Heights, Sea Pleasant, Glen Arden. I knew people everywhere. You know, so I mean, and right now in Charles County, we getting to know our neighbors. You know, because I want to know who our neighbors are. You know, y'all gotta get back to that, man. Oh, they won't be in our business. You ain't got no business. You ain't got no business. Hell, have y'all put y'all business on Facebook.
That's true.
On Instagram. So y'all ain't got no business. Just tell it like it is. Get mad if you want to with me. Y'all know what y'all can do. Call 202-749-7903. I ain't got no problem when y'all call me and we can talk about it. But y'all need to call the station 240-719-2560. You know? Man, it is what it is. So we got the kids going back to school. So now we got the kids going back to school. What y'all gonna do? Half of them gonna have brand new Jordans, $200 tennis shoes. But I think he done run the price down on some of the tennis shoes. Still, I ain't paying no $100, $150 for no shoes. Hell, I can go to Kmart and get me about 5-10 pair of shoes, Kmart shoes.
But you know, young kids today, they can't relate to that.
Those like Maypops, those like Maypops. Remember Maypops back in the day, the slip and slide, you know? Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that. But yeah, you want the best for your kids, but you also gotta teach your kids. Because I'm gonna tell you, society gonna eat them up. Mm-hmm. It's gonna eat them up, man. Yep. Telling y'all how it is, it's gonna eat them up. And if they don't know, these kids out here killing one another. Over crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, man. I just seen something on Facebook. Somebody stepped on one of his own buddies, stepped on his shoe. They beat the mess out of him for stepping on it. We used to do that in the go-go. But we was at a point where we'll say, excuse me, you know, and keep it moving. But man, these kids doing a little bit, man, sheesh. I'm going to let y'all know this. I'm going to say it just like I'm going to say it. I'm going to defend myself and my family at all costs. So if your kid jump out there with a gun, I'm going to defend my family and my kids and my grandkids at all costs. Just that simple. So that's where we at. So we got the kids going back to school. We got a lot of book drives going on. Please hit some of the book drives. Matter of fact, we got one in Volkswagen this next Saturday, right? In law, we gonna promote it. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook, Instagram. I'm gonna go live with it, man. And y'all come on out and support. We got food, we got bands, we got venues out there, man. We got hosts on a lot of the shows coming out there. We're gonna be doing a lot of things out there. So y'all come on out, man, and support. You know. So. But
they should. Another thing too. Please support the teachers.
Yeah.
The other day I went to, I believe it was Staples, and I saw a older black lady, and I said, "You got to be a teacher," and she said yes. And come to find out, what she was doing was buying things to give to the kids who did not have the money to buy what they need. So if you know of a teacher, throw them a few bucks, because I'm telling you, if you know that's a teacher who supports the kids, that's coming out of their own pocket. So support the teachers, and you know, even if you give them gift cards that they can use at Staples or something to buy the kids in the community, because a lot of times they do it and they don't want to shout out that Nick doesn't have what he needs for school. They just buy it and say, "Here, come up here and take these items."
Yeah.
So support the teachers. They're the most underpaid people on the planet.
Yeah. And if the kids, y'all know if y'all know a family that can't get parents that can't get their kids clothing and buy uniforms, man, help out, man. Help out. You know, I know that's your money. And y'all really don't know how much I go out of my way to help out. My wife will tell you, my daughter, my kids will tell you, I try to help everybody if I can. You know, and you know, some parents don't have it. Some parents don't have it, man. And the kids don't, their kids, I know sometimes they feel bad because they don't have what other kids have.
It's a long list.
It's a long list. But if y'all can spend money on weed, cigarettes, alcohol, y'all can donate some of that. You know what I'm saying? Designer bags, Jordan, you know, some other things. Please help those who are in need. Please. Please.
It comes back.
Yeah, it'll come back on. I'm telling you, it'll come back you 900,000 times. I'm telling you, good Lord looks out for you. Mm-hmm. You know, look what he done to me. You know, Because I ain't here every week and she got to be running the show and everything. So I'm just going to throw that out there too.
He's not talking about Miss Jenkins.
So, I mean, so that's where we at, you know. Mute the killing in D.C., man. The kids right now, they killing each other. We need our kids, man, especially our black young men. We need them, man. And if we can snatch one of them up and mentor them, hey, fellas, I'm 55. I mentor two DJs. I got some other kids that I'm about to mentor, man. Hey, make time. Give them suggestions. Make them, have them to help you do something and pay them. Man. Show them. You know, show them.
I'll work a kid in a minute.
Yeah, I'll work them to death. I'm telling you. You know, teach them. I'll teach them.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the only way they're going to learn.
Yeah, that's the only way. You know, so that's where we at with that. So, I'm about to get out of here, but my other host here, oh, she about to let loose on y'all. I'm tell y'all, she about to let loose on y'all. She's gonna get into some. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're not gonna hang around, but I've invited Paul Porter. Paul Porter used to be with KYS, BET. The man's got a resume that's just amazing, and he's doing great things in the community of rap music. He has a nonprofit, Rap Rehab.
Wow.
And for years, talk about a person who gives back. He gives back. I have his book here. He came all the way from Florida to one of my shows and talked to the audience, but I really want people to know more about Paul Porter and what he's doing to make a difference in the world of music. A lot of people think they want to be an artist, and they don't realize that part of it has some really back behind the scenes things that go on that you're not even aware of. And this man is not ashamed to expose you to that and help you understand that. And when I first started doing my shows, he actually talked to me for hours and gave me some really good guidance. So I'm going to say he's not only a good friend, but he's an amazing mentor. And one thing he always does, he puts his telephone number in every book that he sells. How many people do that? What he's trying to do is he's trying to make African Americans understand that the music industry is a business. It's, the days of, street corner harmony and making music, they're trying to take that. And so he sheds a lot of light on that industry. Paul's worked with the best of the best. I mean, Wendy Williams, Donnie Simpson. I mean, he's got a great, amazing story, and eventually I want to get him in to do a live show, but for now, he's going to call in and we're going to have some conversation. Okay, cool. And to note on that about the entertainment, you guys that's out here in the DMV, I put a video out earlier. I had to delete it because it got under my skin. It's a business. It's a business. Yes.
I dictate prices, how much you can either take it or leave it. I'm not coming out here for free on every event, giving you something for free. Don't work like that. This is my livelihood. You don't understand it, keep it moving. I'm just being real about it. I'm a hell of a DJ, and I'm a good sound man. And I take it seriously because this is my livelihood. So if you don't understand it, you need to understand it. I'm not out here doing it for free for you. You want quality? I'll give you quality. Believe me, it's on my own page. You get quality. She has her entertainment business, and I do sound for every artist, and they national artists. On a national artist level, I'm doing sound for. I've done Greg Boyer, done his band. Greg Boyer has played for Prince, Michael Jackson. I don't need to say no more. So if he's on that level and I done sound for his band, and he said when he come back, and this is exact words, what did he say, Ron? When I come back in town, you gonna be my sound man. That speaks value right there. So don't get it twisted, man. It's a business. It's a business. It ain't personal.
It's an investment too, because a lot of people don't realize whether it's buying a napkin or tablecloth. You know, for you, it's even more expensive because you're buying some high-end equipment. And if people misabuse that or abuse that equipment, then that's something you have to replace. Not to mention the back breaking that it puts on your body to carry those speakers. And you know, I know because I used to go and rent my sound and carry it and load it on my truck myself. So I can say I really understand and respect what you do. So a lot of people have to understand that when we do shows, even, you know, the price that we set, it has to cover a lot. You know, from sound to staff to, you know, whatever it is that we need. And, you know, we try to bring value to the African-American community. As for me, it's to all the community. And based on that, you know, we can't function without it. The part that bothers me, I think, too, is when a person will look at what you're doing and then they'll go somewhere else and pay a higher price. You know, when I look at some of the prices now that these companies are asking for tickets, you know, it all starts. The greatest artist, and Anderson .Paak, I saw this in his interview. He said he remembers going to the little small bars, playing, and doing these shows. He didn't become famous overnight. It took a lot of work. And the only way that it works is when your following comes to the shows, when you build a following and ask them to support you. You know, no matter how good you are, if you don't have a following, then really your brand is not going to grow.
It's not going to grow, you know. So that being noted, man, we got to take a quick break because we got a phone call coming in at 6:30, and we want to make sure we get that phone call. And I'll shout out, before I get off, shout out to my baby girl, my twin, my baby girl, birthday, 27 years old. Love you, baby.
Happy birthday.
Yes, sir. See you back in a few minutes. It's your boy DJ Ric.
DJ Ric Entertainment, the hottest DJ in the DMV area. CEO of Step Your Game Up in the Youth Project Show. The DJ on the Heartbeat Congo Hour and sound engineer for a variety of bands. DJ Ric Entertainment is your #1 company for all your stage and sound event needs. Call 202-749-7903. That's 202-749-7903. DJ Ric Entertainment.
Step Your Game Up, the Youth Project, man. My show is from 6:30 to 7:30 on every Saturday, man. Check me out on voxwave.com. You know how I say, Mr. Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Diane.
I'm Diane.
We're here with Let's Do It Again Band.
And I'm DJ Ric wife. Hi.
And we just up here, we're ready to party, ready to groove it too.
Let's do it again.
On Voxwave. It's on Wednesday nights at 9:30. So just keep up with us, watch the videos, enjoy, and you're going to be seeing us a lot more.
Welcome back to Step Your Game Up. I'm the host today. DJ Ric just left me, but it's all good. I've got you in my hands. I'm waiting for Paul Porter to call in. And before we get into that, I just wanted to share something. This is an old beat up box, but it's called Black Facts. And I found this very interesting. I found that in the course of my life, I carry this around almost like a Bible. But I wanted to give you this question. And the question is, what year was Freedman's Hospital established? Was it 1911, 1834, or 1870? Well, I, being the history buff that I am, I did some research. And I found out that Freedman's Hospital now is currently Howard University Hospital, and it was founded in 1862. And Ron's got some stuff up on the screen for you, but I really wanted to share that because I think part of the things that are going on with us today is we really need to know in which our foundation has come from. And being that Howard University is a landmark in the DMV, and for those who are not in the DMV that may be watching, I wanted to share this. It was the first hospital of its kind in the aid of medical treatment of former slaves. Later, it became the major hospital for the African American community in Washington, D.C. And the hospital was founded on the grounds of Camp Barker at 13th and R Streets in Northwest Washington. It remained in that location until a new building was completed in 1909 at Bryant and 6th Street. But then if you go on, and Ron, you don't have to do that. I just wanted to point out that this is something I really want everybody to take time to Google this and look it up. But right now, what I thought was the amazing thing is it says Bryant Street building now houses Howard University's Kathy Hughes School of Communications. And I thought that was amazing that, that was the case. Well, what do you know? It's Paul Porter. I don't have to give you any more history. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, Paul Porter.
Hey, what's going on?
Listen, I'm really excited that you called in today. I wanted to really get people back into reading books, and particularly books that matter. And you have this amazing book called Blackout. Could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll get into Blackout?
Oh, okay. Wow, we live right on the air. I love it. Ah, man. Well, the one thing about the book, it tells my whole story, but I'll sort of simplify it. I grew up in New York, and was lucky enough to have a lot of the seniors on my block in Jamaica, Queens. One of my best friend's father married Nina Simone. His name was Mr. Stroud, Andy Stroud. And when he left the block, he went and married Nina Simone. And I would travel and stay with them on the weekends growing up. And of course, he was in the record business, and one thing led to another. And I went to college. I played basketball, got on the college radio station. And Donnie Simpson's sister heard me when I was up in Boston, got a job in D.C., and, one thing, radio led to television led to, the music business, and so on and so forth.
So your book, Blackout, it was a really interesting read, and it tells some very interesting stories about the sad part of the music industry that a lot of up-and-coming artists are not even aware of. And one word that sticks in the back of my head was payola. I had never heard anything about payola. I didn't know what it meant, but once I finished reading your book, I had a better understanding of it. Would you like to share some insight about payola?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, the book Blackout, the title Blackout means a temporary loss of consciousness. And that's what's happened as black folks when it comes to taking control of our music, our media, our ownership, and everything else. So the book deals heavily in in that realm in terms of control. And we don't control enough of our images and everything else. And one of the number one reasons is payola. Payola is what, it's basically pay for play. And back in the day, maybe at WOL in the 60s and the 70s, it would be a girl and some blow and free dinner to play a record. But as it's moved on to the corporate world, big companies, even now, there's this myth that I can put my stuff on YouTube and Instagram and be a huge success. And it never happens that way. This is a capitalistic society, and people want money for everything. To get on your local station in D.C., under the table, it might be $1,500 for them to play your record for 4 weeks. But of course, it's known, and pay for play is illegal. But now the corporate structure has come up with compliance agreements and indies that work for the radio stations, that work with the record companies. And the same thing when it comes to Spotify getting on the key playlist. There's an excellent article that came out Wednesday in Rolling Stone. I'm in it. It's
Yes.
I can't think of what the title is, but if you Google Rolling Stone Paul Porter, it'll pop up. It's basically a question like, how much does it? You want to get on the radio? How much does it cost? And it really breaks down payola so you can truly understand it. And I think it's an important read for everybody.
So, what advice would you give, say, someone who's an up-and-coming artist who knows not much, they just know that they like to sing or they play a guitar or they're in a band? What kind of guidance would you give them? Because I think a lot of people are very confused when it comes to how the music industry works.
No, I don't think they're confused. I think they don't do their homework.
Okay.
They call it music business for a reason. The music and the business side go hand in hand. As a matter of fact, very average music can make millions if the business side is done right. It's the only business, music business is one of the few businesses where you don't think you have to go to college or you have to study or learn your craft. Everybody just thinks that they make music in a fly video and they're going to become popular by posting it up on Instagram. And it just doesn't work that way. There's millions of artists. iTunes made more money off of losers than winners. There's more people that lose placing their music, paying that fee to iTunes, that makes iTunes bigger than all the records that Little Nas X will sell and everybody else that has huge records. The music business is a failure business. 94 out of 100 people fail. There are a lot of musicians and a lot of great artists, but it's more like a hobby than a business. So I urge people, get some mentorship. Reach out to people that have experienced different sides of the business and try to build relationships. Hire somebody on your team if you can afford to that can help you out because it's going to save you money. You know, it's funny. There's two things in this business people get confused with: experience and expertise. Mm-hmm. And I know folks that have experience, but they haven't adapted to today's time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm pushing retirement, but I stay out on these streets and talking to different people about different levels, and that's where people get confused. Because the new game is getting into the game. I started a site. It's called raprehab.com. Yes. There's a lot of great articles on that site, including this where you could get my book, Blackout, or at blackoutthebook.com, blackoutthebook.com. I sign every book from there, and I put my phone number in.
Yep, you sure do.
And people me after reading it because they have no idea how it really works. And it's funny, I've had friends in this industry that have worked in the business for 30 years, but they don't know because they might be in sales. They might be the one guy in programming that doesn't know. They might be a DJ, but there's so many multiple sides and layers of this business. You will lose money. Why do you think record companies fail? Mm-hmm. And they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on artists. Record companies survive off of one big artist. You know, this like Little Nas X has been number one for 18 weeks. His streaming revenue alone is something close to $400,000 a week. Of course, his touring money, he's going to have a $20 million year. But that balances a record company's books. Because if he makes $20 million, the record company is going to make $200 million. Mm-hmm. I saw a recent stat since Drake has been in the music business for Universal, he's made $278 million in sales and streams. Guess how much of that money Drake is taking home?
I have no idea, but I'm sure it's nowhere near that.
$27 million.
Wow.
And yes, $27 million is a lot. But look, the record company made $278 million.
Yeah.
You know, so, and everybody thinks they can do it on their own, but this system is built as, you know, it's sort of like, I tell people, if I had the greatest soda in the world, if I went into the local supermarket there and tried to get shelf space for Blackout the Book soda, I'm not going to get it because they've been doing business with Coke and Pepsi forever. So they're not going to give me their key shelf space. They're going to give me something on the side. And in the music business, they give you overnights. They give you something little, but the hand that feeds them the most is what they're going to keep, going to. It's a lot to do and a lot to think about. And I urge people, reach out to people, build relationships. I'm on IG at Porter on Air on Twitter and Instagram. And I think everybody's important because I've seen the receptionist go to the CEO. Mm-hmm. If you're in it long enough, and there's a lot of people that come in and jump out, I get it, but everybody's important. That's why I try to talk to everybody, reach out. No, I'm not going to let you pick me for every idea in the world because it is a business, but I always like to help people out before they get robbed.
Now, your organization, Rap Rehab, could you kind of tell people some of the stuff that you do? Because you do have a radio station, and I do follow that radio station.
Okay. Well, the radio station is The Wire, 98.5. We're a low-power FM based in Orlando, in the section of Orlando. When the license came up like 6 years ago, the FCC had a program to get minority broadcasters involved. My partner and I, well, to be honest, he's the one that had a station 15 years ago, the same type. So he knew the process of applying. And we did that, and we applied in Pine Hills. In Orlando, the hood is, like everywhere else, 5 miles from Disney. So Pine Hills is known as Crime Kills and Crime Hills. And when we bought the station in 2017, we had 6 murders within 3 miles of our station. State police officer got killed, 2 police officers. Anyway, so it's a trip. We're in the black part of town, but our radio station, The Wire 98.5, there's an app for it too. We play hip-hop and R&B. Yeah, I could have went in there and sounded like Sleepy WHUR or something and played the same 5 ballads. I could play her for like 10 years in LMA, but I decided to do hip-hop and R&B because I think it's important because it's the music our kids are listening to. Right. And the next generation, and unfortunately the messages we went from lyricists to the lyrically challenged. And if I was 12 years growing up, and my only rappers were Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, and it was different, a different time where there was more balance in the music, where you can hear Chuck D and Public Enemy, and a party song and a silly song,
Right.
a song with violence in it. So we're in a different age where corporate America is controlling things. And the one thing we always had control of, black music and black culture, is black music. And we don't have control of that anymore. There are no more superstars. If I ask you right now, who's the most popular black male singer in the last 10 years, I'll bet you $1,000, and everybody in that room, nobody can guess it. Look around, ask somebody.
What do you think, Ron? He wants to know who you think is the most relevant
Popular
R&B singer.
black vocalist. Now
Black
I don't have to say R&B.
Okay, he said black
but
vocalist.
Who is demanded
He said
the most?
the sound director said too many.
Like who? Nobody can.
Someone
pick a
else
black
said
man.
Beyonce, Paul.
She's not a black male, and she's not most
Yeah,
popular.
black male.
But anyway, it's Khalid. Khalid has 4 times platinum. He has 2 billion streams, and black folks don't know him. Why? Because he went pop. They just heard the song "Can We Just Talk," but he's an R&B style singer that's selling out arenas all across the country, and black folks don't even know who Khalid is.
What's his
I
name,
say
Paul?
Khalid, they think Khaled. Huh?
What's his name?
Khalid, not Khaled. Khalid.
Oh, okay.
The brother who got the song "Can We Just Talk," but I know you listen
Yes.
to blues, so you don't get to hear it.
I listen to a little bit of everything, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know who Khalid was.
Well, his name now, I remember who he is. I've seen him on TV.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. So, do you think that there'll be some magic bubble and this is all going to change drastically, or?
Why? Is Kathy Hughes going to change? No.
Okay.
Is TV One going to change? No. It's going to be somebody else who's going to change things.
Okay.
The one thing I've noticed in this business is that money changes folks. They get real quiet. There was a point in time when Kathy Hughes was burning the Washington Post on 4th and 8th Street back in the 80s. Now she's in business with the Washington Post.
Wow.
And the same thing when it comes to BET. They always buy out the biggest names. The partnerships that Tom Joyner and Steve Harvey have cut them out of a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying they're not good guys, but, when you're doing business, you can't have critical thought that comes up, and that's killing us. Because it's easy to buy off 2 or 3 people.
So, could you shed some insight? I remember in your book, you talked about a little girl that came up to you. Could you tell that story?
Oh, yeah, well, sometimes we all have life-changing moments. And, I'm honest in the book. I talk about my success and failure all the time. And there was a period when all I was doing was having fun. I snorted Peru. I made plenty of good money. I traveled all around. Everything was paid for. But I was in New York, and I call it my second midlife crisis. I was volunteering at a school, and a young sister in the 8th grade, Latia, came up to me with a note, and the note basically said, "Mr. Paul, there's a record on the radio by Raw Digger. I want to get the record off." And I said, what's the problem? And she looked at me and started crying. The record was by Raw Digger, and the chorus was, "I got to beat that bitch with a bat." And we were playing it on Hot 97 in New York. That's where I was working at the time. And her mother got beat up by the father, and she was in a hospital and asked me to go visit. So I tried to get the record off. I sent a note to the program director because back in the day we would day part records like that. They would only play late night or they would edit out stuff like that. But now you hear everything on the radio with these real short edits so they can say, yeah, my nigga. And, you know what every word on these records are.
Right.
So, I mean, that moment changed my life. Here it is, 12-year-old girl telling me what's wrong with some of the music we play. Because the kids were making fun of her every time the record played. Oh, your mama got beat with a bat. Your mama got beat with,
Yeah.
and there's so much violence. But the balance is what's killing. And I listen to the craziest music. But if it all was crazy, I would have been crazy. I'm tired of people telling me that the music doesn't affect our culture. And I know there's choice, but when commercial radios purposely targets, 12 to 18-year-olds with garbage, I'm talking out. I started a nonprofit in 2000, Industry Ears. There's a lot of historical information up on that site, industryears.org and .com. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of issues, and there was we lost music a long time ago, at least commercial music, and part of the deal was them killing R&B and soul and jazz for hip hop because it was cheaper, it was a quick fix, and it sold well to white kids.
Wow. Well, Paul, I'm kind of got to move a little bit, but I wanted you to tell everybody how they can get a copy of your book because I really want to urge people to buy this book. I know I really enjoyed
people
it.
don't buy any books. Well, for the people that don't buy books, there's a 90-minute special too on C-SPAN. You can Google it. It's still up on their site. Paul Porter Blackout. And it talks about a lot of the issues. But the book, you can get it at blackoutthebook.com. Blackoutthebook.com. I sign every book there, and I put my number in it and urge people to send a picture. There's a Facebook page, Blackout the Book, and I can be reached at Porter on Air on IG and Twitter. And my radio stations in Orlando, The Wire, 98.5.com. And I bust my ass on that station 7 days a week.
Yes, you do.
Making it right. We got best station in the year. This year, we won an award last year, so I'm proud. And a lot of, I have a mentorship program, me and my partner with the local high school that's up the street, Evans High School. So it's good. We take 7 students in for a year, and they learn how to be young broadcasters because whoever controls the media controls the mind and controls black culture because we got a sheepish society that where 85% of the people just follow what everybody else is doing. And unfortunately, we see the same stories, hear the same music, dress the same way, and have the same sound, and a lot of our creativity is being cut out.
That's true. Well, Paul, thank you. My goal is to bring you in for another show, and hopefully we can do that via Skype, and I'm working on that. But
hopefully I can come to D.C. soon.
That
I'm
sounds
trying to come
perfect.
with
You're
Suzanne,
welcome.
Christine, and come and sit with y'all. Y'all got free food or anything?
We'll make sure to feed you. Absolutely.
Okay, because food is a necessity. But I appreciate it. And just hit me up on IG, Porter on Air. I do a lot of music tips, too, on my IGTV. And some are sort of raw, but if you got somebody in the music biz, tell them to reach out, man. I like to hear new music and see what directions, but I'm honest and blunt about it.
Okay, well, definitely. I know you're on Instagram. What I'll do is I'll definitely post your information and just keep plugging the book because I do believe it has a lot of good information in it. Blackout the Book, Paul Porter. And again, Paul, thank you so very much for taking the time to shed some light on this music business.
All right.
Thank
You'll
you.
be good.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I guess we'll take a short break and then we'll come back and close up the afternoon. So I'm back. I want to again thank Paul Porter for taking time to let you know the inside scoop of the music industry. Once again, I'm going to share his book. It's called Blackout. You can find him on industryears.com, and I do believe on Instagram he's Porter on Air. But that's the guy you really want to follow, because when it comes down to music, there is no other who's going to be honest and candid and share with you the truth of the business. And if you're into music, you need to know the business. First, I want to get into some upcoming events. Of course, I'm going to give a plug for my great Stone Street Entertainment family. We're going to be having an event on September the 8th at 6 o'clock. We're going to be featuring the artist Kevin Howard. He's a smooth jazz artist. Kevin has a rich background. I mean, this brother, if you love jazz, you're going to love Kevin Howard. So a little bit about Kevin. He was the former music director of Ronnie Laws. He's worked with Najee, Marion Meadows. I mean, this guy has a great following, and he's a touring musician. So it's hard for me to catch up with him, but he's willing to come and do a show, and I think if you come, you'll be totally surprised. So grab a friend, bring a friend, come out, spend the afternoon with us, and hear some great music. And as usual, Stone Street Entertainment, we always have some little tricks up our sleeves. We're giving out door prizes to the first 25 tickets. I'm thinking we're probably beyond that, but you might go on the website. You never know what we might do. And just come out and have fun. You're going to enjoy it. I like to tell people, we bring the atmosphere of the Kennedy Center Blues Alley to the heart of Waldorf, Maryland. We get you in, we get you out before dark, so if you're worried about those cataracts working, just come on down. You'll have a good time. I have a sense of humor, don't I? Also, I wanted to give a shout out because next week, Stone Street Entertainment family, we're going to be heading to Fayetteville, West Virginia, and The artist that I work with, Lady D, she's working with a jazz and blues in the Ville, and we are going to be headed down there for the weekend, and it's going to be a host of talent. But the reason I wanted to give a shout out to is because the guitarist David Cole and the Main Street Blues are traveling there to bring some great blues music to West Virginia. In addition, I think there was one more event. Oh, I wanted to tell you this. WPGC, currently they're having their pledge drive, and as you know, our Stone Street Entertainment MC is the great Dr. Nick and the lovely Lady C. So if you support that station, it helps keep those great shows on air. So if you be kind enough, it does, even if it's $5 adds up. But the amazing thing I like about WPFW, and I've really started listening to it, I really don't listen to many other stations anymore. The reason I like them, that you can hear a doctor and they'll tell you about your health. You can listen to another show that's strictly straight ahead jazz, or you'll listen to another show that does a lot of the old classics. Dr. Nick's show is, the Southern Soul sound, and he mixes it with some old school R&B. But it's a great, great station, and just like everything in life, it has to be supported. So listen to the station, and if you get a kindness in your heart, please donate to WPFW. Thank you. You all have a great weekend. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you.